Good afternoon. Today is Thursday, April 21st, 2022. It is 4:30 p.m., and this is the Cable Communication Advisory Board. So first item on our agenda is to welcome Paul Johnson to our group. So Paul, thank you for agreeing to be part of this board, and we're apparently one short as well. So if anybody has an interest in wanting to be part of our board, let us know, let one of us know, and we'll certainly talk to you about that or contact the mayor. And so, moving right along, since we have not met in 2022, our first item, number 2.1, is election of officers. So we need to do that each year, so we need a board chair, we need a vice chair, and we also need a secretary. So let's do one at a time, and I would entertain any motion for the chair.
You're the current chair?
I was the chair last year.
Okay. Is there interest to continue?
You know, as a city councilor, there's been a lot of talk about councilors no longer taking the position of chair. I'm certainly willing to do that, but we've talked about a step back approach. So I'll leave it up to you. If you swipe up. Whatever you focus on.
Yeah, I'd be fine if you took chair, and I don't have a problem with vice chair. Again,
And I need some motion. I need a motion.
motion to have Les Schultz as our chair of the Cable Communications Advisory Board.
We have a motion and we have a second. And I need to ask legally two more times. So any other nominations? Any other nominations? Hearing no nominations, all those in favor for Les Schultz as chair, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Now we need a motion for the vice chair position.
I make a motion that Seth Visser
Okay.
continue the role of vice chair.
We have a motion. Do we have a second?
I second it.
We have a motion and a second for vice chair for Seth. Any other nominations? Any other nominations? Hearing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion carries. Last one is secretary for 2022. I'd entertain a motion for that. Vicki, you interested? It's kind of an unofficial role, really.
Whatever you guys feel.
Okay? I can't make a motion, so.
I'll make the motion to have Vicki
You know,
Tamamil to be
Motion for
secretary.
Vicki to be the secretary. Do we have a second?
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Any other nominations? Any other nominations? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion carries. All right. Thank you, everybody. Let's move on to item number 3.1, the minutes. So our last meeting was on April 20, November 3rd, 2021. So I'd entertain a motion regarding those minutes.
I'll offer the motion to approve the minutes.
Motion to approve. Do we have a second?
Second.
Motion and a second to approve the minutes from November 3rd. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion carries. Are all those opposed? Motion carries. Moving on to 4.1, let's get into the good stuff. The new CAT activities. Mr. Sherman.
Sure. So for the activity report, we have October through March. You've got that in front of you. A lot of that is a lot of the programming, so we'll be going over that in a future item. Primarily, one big change is we did hire a part-time technician who started in November, Michael Beauvais.
You have two Michaels now.
We do. So one's Mike and one's Michael.
Oh, okay.
That's
Which one's which?
I was gonna say.
The Mike for Mike McMahon.
Mike that's been here for a while.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
And he
I thought-
typically goes by Mike, so
Okay, all right.
took a claim on that. Any other questions about the updates?
Hearing none, I'd entertain a motion to accept the report, new CAT report.
I move to accept the new CAT report.
Okay, do we have a second?
I'll second.
We have a motion and a second to approve the new cat report from October through March. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Motion carries. Item 4.2, new cat programming update. Mr. Sherman.
So for programs that we've completed since October, I've got a list in front of you here. There's a different programs that we've done. So the first one is don't forget to read the instructions. It's the board game show that we do in partnership with Public Library and Red Dragon Gaming. We did 5 episodes of that program. Living United is the program we do with Brown County United Way, and we've done 6 installments of that program. Something Artsy is the monthly magazine arts program, and we've done 3 installments of that one. The New Ulm Forum is a talk show program about New Ulm public affairs, and that's a partnership with the League of Women Voters. And we did, I think, 7 installments of that. And then a number of library presentations. We did 2 programs, or we recorded 2 programs for the Brown County Historical Society, as well as some programs for the Chamber of Commerce. And then 3 programs for the Minnesota Valley Civil War Roundtable. We were invited to record at the first Turner Talks, which was focused on agriculture. We worked with the PUC to put together an end-of-year recap video, which is about 2 minutes long and just kind of showcased some of the highlights that were happening in the PUC. We have our volunteer-produced program, Preach the Word, and that's recorded twice a month. We recorded the New Ulm Figure Skating Club program. This year was Heroes on Ice. We were invited to record at the athletic banquet. And then the last thing we worked on was an Oak Hills history panel discussion. We did 2 installments of that. And for submitted programs, we've been playing a podcast from Mankato. It is called Triple Falls Cast, and that's focusing on arts and local happenings, and that's something that they submit once a week. We just got permission to play another program called Behind the Game, which is a cable access television program produced at Egan TV that focuses on like state sports. So they invite different people from different organizations to come on and talk. We have our gardening program that started up again. Yeah. Any other questions about programming?
I have a question.
Yes.
When you say that you've been invited to record something, so is that something that you volunteer to do? Or do you get reimbursed for going in and recording something for someone that you're gonna put on New Cat?
So we don't get any reimbursements. I always consider the content itself as the reimbursement, is because we're always looking for quality content. Sometimes people will contact us asking us if we're available. And sometimes I'm looking at, the community calendar and seeing if there's something that might fit as a program on UCAT. So you can kind of go both ways.
So what you're saying is that people can contact you, and if you think that it is something that would be good on New Cat, then you say yes?
Yes, if we have someone available.
Right, okay.
Sometimes
I was
there's a lot
curious
going
how
on
that
at the
works.
same time.
Sure.
So, yep, we always are welcome to people letting us know, or if there's someone on their team who maybe wants to learn how to use a camera, they can become a volunteer and take the camera course, and we can help them with that too.
How often do you offer to do a camera course?
It's been a while. We used to do them more frequently. It just kind of depends on local interest and who's kind of willing to come in and put in the work to learn.
Based on your list here, is it more than what the past, or is it about the same?
I think we're kind of picking up to where we were pre-pandemic, so that's kind of what I'm, gauging it as. It's, a pretty good quality content for our size of our team, to be able to produce these mostly talk shows that are relating to the community. I think, we've been able to do a good number, throughout the past few months, so.
Did we gain or lose a program that are of significance since we met last?
Let me see here. I mean, I think we've been pretty consistent. Some of the programming was on a pause for a while, but we've pretty much got most of those shows back.
Okay.
I don't think we've lost anything major, but and most of these were things that we've had done before, so nothing too new either. I would say the Oak Hills presentation, that was something new and not necessarily related to a previous program that we've done. So and that was exciting to be able to partner with them on that.
I saw the daycare, there was a daycare one as well, and that group is still meeting on a pretty regular basis with the town hall coming up in June. Mm-hmm. So we should have some really good information for that.
Yes, I think that was either part of the New Ulm Forum or
Forum, yeah.
or the Living United. Both of those programs do such a a great job, I think, of showcasing different important topics in the community. So
Yeah, I think there's a significant amount of work that's been done since we met last, obviously, but nice work on completing all those programs.
thank you.
Yes. You want to just briefly talk about, since Paul's kind of new as far as staffing and how many people we have working
Sure.
and volunteering and?
So New Cat is myself. I'm the coordinator. There's one full-time production member, and that's Mike McMahon. And then we have two part-time staff members, Michael Beauvais and Ron Carlberg. We are always open to volunteers, so people can submit their own work, or they can come in to, as I said before, learn some camera techniques, check out equipment to create their own programming or record an event and submit that.
And if you haven't had a chance to get down to the studio, I'd highly recommend you go down there and take a look. They have a nice operation down there, really a nice setup, so.
I am hoping to bring my class back at the end of this
Yes.
year. We do that as far as our middle school collaboration.
Awesome, it's good to hear. Other questions or comments regarding the programming update?
Stephen, are you stretched thin, or do you have the ability to take on, more programming ideas and programs and?
Yeah, we're always open to more programming. I think right now, we've got a good balance, but there's always room for new, I would say, topics. If people want to come in and if they have a new idea that they feel like we're not covering, always open to that. And, if they want to come in and talk about, what kind of level they want to work as a producer. A lot of these programs, we're doing the recording and the editing and we put it online, but they're the ones who are finding the guests and doing the legwork in terms of the interviewing. So it's just about finding that right balance with the right kind of group or volunteer or organization.
Is there a criteria of what you're looking for as far as programming? I mean, does it have to fit into community interest or community health or?
I think community interest is my number one focus. People can watch, any number of things online on YouTube or anywhere else. So I think New Cat should always be focused on things that are of interest to the community.
But you really can't turn down anyone.
We can't turn down anyone. There's only a few stipulations, I think, when it comes to like hate speech, and that kind of.
We had that discussion here long before even you were here, and it was heated about
That it was.
that. If we had a radical group come in, they can present and they can put a recording on, and we can't say no.
We do have, a number of different, produced programs that are from, not produced here in the community. They don't take precedence over like locally produced programs, but there's 24 hours a day. So there's always room for something. So
And you do rely on the public for content ideas? And
we do. Yep. People will come in with ideas or, a lot of times it's the talk shows. People will see someone do a talk show and they think, oh, I can do something similar. Or
Cooking shows were real popular there for a while.
we did have a few cooking shows. That's kind of a gap that we have right now. So if somebody had a great idea, or if they wanted to be on camera and share their cooking skills, that's something we'd be open to.
We talked about like a celebrity chef going to and picking different restaurants and pick the head chef, and we did a little of that, I think, way back.
We did a number of short programs throughout the pandemic. There was a series that we did with State Street Theater where they were going to different restaurants and they were showcasing different cocktails and different like little recipes people can make. So there's so many different ways to do it. It's kind of
It'd be
lots
fun
of
to bring that back
options.
again.
Is there any way to measure audience?
We really don't get metrics in terms of who's watching the cable channel. We do measure our audience via, our YouTube uploads. So that's something where you get a lot of analytics and try to gauge what people are watching that way. But it's kind of a limited view.
Sure, of course.
And now that you joined this board, you occasionally might get a phone call from neighbors or, if they like this program or didn't like that program, or quality of this or quality of that. And I haven't gotten a call in a while, but I used to get more before we went to high def. Because remember, I was on you all the time. Let's go high def. Let's go high def. So yeah, you might get some calls and you can kind of direct
Well,
them
it's
to.
a terrific service to be able to provide.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
absolutely.
A forum for discussion and interest and
And it's local. Yeah. All right, I would entertain a motion to receive the programming update.
I move that we receive the programming update.
Okay, we have a motion from Vicky. Do we have a second?
second.
Motion and a second. Any other comments, questions? Hearing none, all in favor say aye. Aye. All those opposed? Motion carries. Moving on to our old business, which is item 5.1, update on discussion regarding customer complaints, Comcast customer complaints. Mr. Sherman.
And as far as this goes, I don't have a lot to update on. I didn't get any response. I know the last meeting we were hoping to get some sort of response from Comcast that I'd be able to bring to City Council. But we didn't get that. And I had checked with Roger a little while back, and he, or the city attorney, and he had not either. And I had reached out to Comcast, they hadn't responded. So I wasn't really sure where to go with that next, if we wanted to, bring something to City Council still, or what exactly what I should bring.
That was Roger's recommendation, right?
Yeah,
I thought we had moved to bring it to city council.
We-
just refer to this matter to the city council is what we had for further
That's
action.
what I had, but that we'd refer it.
Yeah, and we were waiting for a response too from
we didn't see it.
Comcast. So and
Now that we don't have one, we should maybe follow through.
yeah.
You want to bring Paul up to speed a little bit on
At our last meeting, we brought up some of the customer complaints that we had been getting via Comcast customers not being able to reach a customer representative. They had
oh, it's right, their contract required someone to be
available.
in the store even.
So due to our franchise agreement, there was supposed to be more assistance, I believe, locally, and that just some people have felt like they hadn't been getting that. So
Yeah, it was, so why don't we have Roger yet for another week and a half? Well, a week.
yeah, that's why I wasn't sure, since we're kind of switching our.
Let's ask Roger to put a letter together
Okay.
to the city council
Okay.
of our concerns. He knew them right off the top of his head. He had that folder on him. So
Yeah.
it won't take him too long to be able to draft something. I would hope he can get it done before he leaves.
Sure.
Yeah, let's get that to the council so the council can take some action. And
Okay.
I think we're just gonna have to find out from, city council's gonna have to figure out what our options are. Because it is a contract with us as a city, that, they're not following. And whether there's a financial, issue here or not, I guess that's above my pay grade, so. but I think we need to get that ball rolling.
Okay.
So, and we want Roger's notes on that before he leaves. So
Yes.
let's make it a priority for tomorrow to
I will talk to him.
get a hold of him and get that moving, so. And then let's make sure that's on our next agenda, obviously, so we can update all of you on what the council decides to do with that.
Sure.
So can
yeah.
I ask a question?
absolutely.
Is this committee then kind of a liaison between customers and Comcast to act on their behalf, the customers'
I
behalf?
think that was some of the gray area we talked about, if it really
Yeah.
falls into this bucket, but Roger figured he'd bring it here first.
Yeah, Roger was getting a lot, so he actually came here and actually presented that he wanted our advice, and we're an advisory board, we're not a board of directors, so we can only advise. But he wanted to know what our next step should be, and I think we said, let's talk to Comcast, let's see if they'll give us a response, and then we should bring it to the city council, make sure they're aware of it, that this contract's not being followed. And I remember that there's, in the contract, it said it was a 5-year contract, we were in year 3? 2 or 3?
3, I think.
They had it set up at another company in town, one of the computer companies. That was where they were supposed to go.
yeah.
And then that was canceled because of, I don't know if there was some kind of a lack of direction
Yeah,
or
yeah,
something had
yep.
happened. So they stopped doing that business.
Yeah. And we just don't hear from them, so.
No.
And there was just talk of many, many, many phone calls just to try and get any type of service or questions or comments and.
Mm-hmm. And I have gotten at least one more phone call from a Comcast customer asking how can they get, someone to talk to, which was.
Yeah, the people that were working in that store were just so awesome. But anyway. So I don't think we need a motion on any of this. This is just more discussion. So moving on to item number 6, board member comments. Questions, comments, anything for Mr. Sherman today? Anything else?
No, like I said, I was just pleased with the amount of programming that's happening. That's nice. It's good to see that things are picking up a little bit too.
Anything on this end?
I was just going to thank Paul for joining your.
Yeah.
My pleasure.
And wondering, do we have all of our seats filled, or
No,
are we
we're one
still
short.
looking?
We're
So
We
that's
are
what I
looking
was
for one
wondering.
So
one
if anybody
person.
has, anybody interested, contact Mr. Sherman or the mayor. You can either go either way. So if anybody has an interest in sitting in and helping us, we meet quarterly typically, so it's not a monthly meeting, and we're almost done, so they're not real long meetings. And it helps if you have a little, if you watch the cable channel and if you have some or some interest in filming, or that helps, but it's not required. So we'll certainly teach and train all you would like to do. Mr. Sherman, anything more on your end?
Nope, nothing more.
No? Anything else over here? All right, I'll entertain a motion to adjourn.
I'll make that motion to adjourn.
Second, do we have a second?
Second.
Motion and a second to adjourn. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. All those opposed? Motion carries. Thank you, everybody. We conclude our meeting.